Greetings to you guys out there. Sure I got my mic. So this is a video on a sun passing through gate 21, Aries, April 2nd, 2025. It's been in this gate for a couple of days now. So I'm starting this particular gate a little late. I'll show you guys where it is on the body graph here. 21 is right here. It's on the top of the heart ego center. And that's right there, gate 21. And human design, the gate and the heart, the heart and the ego occupy the same center. And this is a manifester channel. You can see we have half of it colored in. And that's with the correspondence of gate 25. Gate 21, which is here where the sun is. So right now it's in 21 line 4. On Friday, this will move to 51, and you can see 51 right here, and it'll join with the 25 and create the channel of initiation. I can't wait. That's going to be amazing. It'll be very volatile, though, as it's a very volatile channel, very powerful, very initiatory. It's the channel of the priestess or the priest. It's the channel of mysticism. These are people who have this channel. These are people that are mystics, that have the capacity to take one from one world to the other, and not with, necessary or unnecessary stimulants. If you get my drift, that's fine too. But there's ways you could do it without, of course. And so you can see it's in 21, and there's no action in the 45. So otherwise, it would create uh, a channel there, which I like to call the channel of capitalism, channel of individuality, in the sense that it's the 45 is like the king or the queen's throne. And then 21 is like the ruler. So this gate is the ruler, meaning to say it's the expression of authority, but authority is one who is ready to lead by knowing how to serve. In other words, you're passing through the frequencies, the early frequencies of fear, which is control. And you're learning to transform through the need to control others, including yourself, into gaining a type of authority which takes into account the responsibility, accountability, and power to serve others. And that can turn into a very powerful form of bringing others together under leadership, under heartful leadership, with courage and with power, and from acts from the heart, and from acts of great authenticity, which is really the highest expression of frequency is authenticity. Not putting on false fronts, not love bombing, not exaggerating the energy. So we're moving from, the lower frequencies of control to letting go of control. So you might see that this week. This week, you might come across someone who's attempting to control a situation or you. And as long as you stand your ground, not in opposition, but in resolve, resolving the polarities, then you can make it clear who you are. Now you might get some lip back, like, oh, you sound aggressive, or your words sound aggressive, or but you're standing your ground. You're defining your boundaries. Nothing's wrong with that. That's correct. But you'll find that this week because there will be those that take ownership of the control side of this energy, and then there'll be those who are on the other side of this, who will have to deal with someone attempting to limit or control their reality. And, the response, not the reaction, but the response, it'll be correct to respond from, the power of who you are and your authenticity. So I like to say that in our heart space, we have an alcove. And in the alcove, there's a candle. And in meditation, you can go into this alcove in the center of your heart. And if the candle is not lit, you can light the candle. And then have the flame, the fire burning of your heart and your heart's will. And with that power, you wield the sword in the everyday world with your own authenticity. And it's not our responsibility how that's met with. We're here to learn our no's, just as we're here to learn when it's correct to say our yeses. But to say our no's is something people struggle with because, how many people can say no and smile, and be okay with their no's and actually say it, here in the West Coast. No one likes to say no. You have to listen very carefully. And because everyone talks in circles, around being able to say no as if it's some horrible thing, to say no or to not agree with the energy. And it could be on all sides. Like when I'm on the side of hearing the no, like that could be rough for me because I'm not used to it either. So I'm used to circles, hearing circles, I'm used to giving circles too. But it's so important, especially these days, especially with this Aries energy. We'll see a huge shift. People will start being a little more direct. And it'll be unsettling at first because all with this start and stop fire of Aries, people are gonna, they'll say too much or not enough, or their no might be too strong, until it settles into just a no, just a very clear no. In the name of authenticity, the highest expression of man and the highest expression of Gate 21 is going to be letting go of control and settling into an authority over your own personal authority, over your own body, your own field, your own territory, your own energy, and people present things these days like it's so circular, It's you're not even being asked. It's just the energy is just being thrown at you. And it's almost like you have to interrupt the person and say, no, 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 thanks. No, I'm not interested. Or, interrupt the energy and say, yes, yes, that sounds good. Can I respond? It's just there's so much energy these days. All of us are caught up. We still don't know what's going on. We're still really, all of us are confused. Neptune is right there in the beginning degree of gate 25. We can see it right here. And it's causing those of us to not know what we're seeing. We don't know what's clear, what's not. We're being really just the veil is so strong with Neptune. And we want to figure it out. We want to pierce that veil. But as I said in my Neptune video, there's nothing to figure out with Neptune. Allow yourself to come to a deeper understanding of the energy. Surrender to that mystery. Let that mystery unfold and become clear to you, and listen to your guided, intuitive, personal authority, whatever center that is in your body, whether it's your gut or the splenic, spontaneous intuition, or whether you need to wait until you're clear, until your emotional wave is clear. And right now we have a strong emotional wave and we're all feeling it. So even those of us who don't have emotional authority are feeling this transit, but it's not our, it's not us. You could see the spleen is also defined right now, and this will last till Friday. Both these centers defined. So it is a time of manifestation this week. It is a time to really like make your intent clear and will it forward. Not so much of it has to do with communication or moving or transportation or things ruled by Mercury. or Venus for that matter. Venus doesn't go direct till the 12th. Mercury will go direct in about 5 days. So that'd be next week, this weekend. Be strong in your energy. The confusion is strong right now. Nothing's clear. Very little is clear. The fire energy of this month is rather unsettled and will catch fire, catch a lot of us on fire. Once the sun goes in the gate 51 over here and clicks in with the 25, willpower, competition, intensity, initiation, mysticism, uh, tempers, 51, I would joke with a friend all the time. We would talk about people who would blow up. And I'd say, oh, I bet they got the 51. They do. 51 is highly volatile. And there's a lot of anger there if they haven't worked through their shadow, their dark side. I don't want to use that shadow term anymore. We all have a dark side, but if we deny it, it becomes us and we become completely dark. So it's so important to be aware of your own shadows. And I mean the shadow in the sense of the shadow cast by the inquirer, meaning to say us, as the fool who, you know, walks the paths of the world and will cast a shadow on his pathway around this world. And so to know your own kind of shadow, I mean, it's rough because like a lot of astrologers, human design analysts, like we cast the shadow of we do want to know. It's our work, we want to look at the details. We want to look at the charts. We want to look at the charts of the day. That's how we interpret. But where are our boundaries with that, you know? So it's fascinating. This is Aries energy. I will do the gate 51 on Friday. And so um yeah, feel free to jump in back on my channel on Friday to see my breakdown of gate 51. I gave you guys a little hint, but I'll go more deeper into it because I get to also explain the whole channel of the 2551, the channel of initiation, not just gate 51. And then I'll share a little about the gate, which will be after that, which we saw in the mandala on the former video. So, uh, keep your boundaries, careful not to be too strong. You'll be on one side or the other, controlled or controlling, or attempt to control, or attempt to be controlled, or really just the attempt to stand your ground, to stand in your own power and to be authentic. And that's really what it is. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. The best to you, and I'll see you tomorrow.